Guys, happy Valentine's Day. Wishing you all a very, very happy Sunday, Valentine's Day. I know a few of you are having it sort of Friday and Saturday evening, so I hope you enjoy it for your meal. I just want to say a massive thank you to each and every one of you again. This is the biggest box sale we've ever done at Dine at Home. We thought we got to 100 boxes, which is our limit for me and Mikey to cook it, because we literally can't physically fit any more hours into the day to be able to prep for that amount of people. But we've done way over that this time, and we just want to say a massive thank you to each and every one of you, and we really, really hope that this produces a good Valentine's Day for the lot of you. So without further ado, let's crack on with your box. First time, for any newcomers, we have our beautiful Cotswold Crunch loaf. The majority of you guys will have a loaf which is a bit of tear and share, which essentially is those two set together, but a couple of you will also have individual loaves as well. Treated exactly the same, and you into the oven, 180 degrees for 5 minutes until they're warm right through into the middle, and then nice and crispy on the outside. They'll be absolutely delicious. First time for Dine at Home, we've done a beautiful whipped bone marrow butter, which is essentially just 50-50 whipped butter with bone marrow. Simple as that. It's super rich, super indulgent, literally like dripping, beef and dripping like the olden days. But keep it at room temperature. It is whipped, so it's nice and light and fluffy, but obviously it will set rock solid in your fridge, so make sure you pull that out a little bit sooner, but equally don't leave it out for too long, because obviously it will melt. So that's that. Hope you can hear me okay. We have got a water bath on with the cod, which is for Saturday and Sunday's boxes this week, so we've done two different delivery of cod to obviously make sure it's as fresh as possible. So, talking about cod, we're going to go on to the starter straight away. So you have a beautiful poached piece of wild Atlantic cod. Okay, so this is literally wild Atlantic cod. We have to call it obviously to order basically. We've ordered 32 plus 16, 48 kilos of cod. So we have to put a pre-order in for, we had to put a pre-order in for literally a couple of weeks ago to make sure we're going to get this week. It's absolutely unbelievable. You'll see when you get the piece of cod, I don't know if you can actually see it on the camera, but there's almost like a pearlescent sort of rainbow effect to it. It is just delicious. We have brined it, we have rolled it, before that we prepped it, we've deboned it. We've obviously deboned in excess of 30 sides of cod. 30 to 40 sides of cod, so please guys make sure that you just double check everything. We're not magicians. If there is a tiny little bone in there, we apologise, but obviously so we're not magicians. We have tried to go through every single one effectively. I'm pretty confident you won't find one, but if you do, I apologise. But listen, it's brined, cured, portioned, prepped the lot. We've also poached it at a low temperature just to set the protein, so it leaves you nothing to do pretty much other than reheat it for your Valentine's dinner, which is super simple. We very simply cut the bag open. You'll notice that there is some cling film around the outside. There may be a number on there. That's just because the loins are obviously whole loins, so we just portion them into numbers. This was one of 6. Very gently, and it will come off because it's we've backpacked it in some single estate extra virgin olive oil. It's absolutely delicious. It need not any more oil or butter. I am going to put a little bit of butter on because it is Valentine's Day, and if you want to impress and get a bit lucky in the evening, put a little bit of butter on top. But that is it. It will, because I've set the protein, it will literally sit just like that. That's all you've got to do. So put your 2 cod loins on there. That's it. Super simple. You'll get some raw purple sprouting broccoli. It's 2 each, but it's so in season. It's just delicious. So you get a nice amount of purple sprouting broccoli or sprouting broccoli. If you would like to bake that, you can bake it with the cod. Just dress it in a nice olive oil or a bit of butter, salt and pepper, straight in the oven. It will take about 8 to 10 minutes to roast. We've roasted broccoli before. Super simple. If, like me, like to boil it, just pop a little shallow onto the back with boiling salted water. I'll drop that in, I'll pull it out when it's cooked, dress it in a little bit of butter, done. Super simple. So it's totally up to you how you prefer that. This is your champagne velouté. This is with smoked caviar inside it, all ready to go. Pop it into a pan. As I've done on the instructions, bring it back to heat very gently, because you don't want to crush those very delicate caviar pearls. And then finally, a beautiful bit of deal oil, super rich, super vibrant. That's to finish the plate off. So, simple as, grab a little knob of butter, I don't need quite that much. And usually, that going on top of there, that straight in the oven, for between 6 to 8 minutes. That's all it needs. In the meantime, I'm going to cook my broccoli on the stove, and then heat my sauce and leave my dill oil. That's it. So join me in 6 minutes when this is roasted nicely, or 6 to 8 minutes when this is roasted nicely. The broccoli is cooked, and I'll show you how to plate it. I'll see you in a bit. Okay guys, so I've just pulled the cod out of the oven. You can see, I mean, the fillet's obviously so soft. It's good that this has happened because it shows you that it's literally ready to break and fall. The texture of this cod will be like no other that you've tasted before. I've blanched my broccoli, and I've just seasoned it with a little bit of butter. That's it. But obviously the butter's melted off the cod. So listen, I'm going to roll it in that buttery sort of cod butter. You may as well. I mean, it's pointless, not really. It's all flavoured. It's all going down the same way, and it just tastes delicious. So I'm going to just pop that broccoli into there on the pan as well. Same flavour. I've just popped a little bit of northern sea salt on top of the broccoli as well. And I've heated my sauce up really gently, okay, really gently. So it's just heated up. Black pearls are right in the bottom, as you can see. And then all that's left is the dill oil. You may think it's quite simple, but the flavour of this is on the first dish I put on my time at Adams. And listen, it's going to be on my restaurant. It's going to be on the menu in the new restaurant. Simple as that. This dill oil, you don't need to put it into the sauce. It's just a little sort of knack that I quite enjoy doing. Very gently just turn it, and you'll see already some beautiful bright green sort of contrast of the sauce. That's it. That's all you need to do with that. Super simple. Alternatively, you can pour it on top of the bowl. It's totally up to you. Okay, so very delicately, you've got a little sort of spatula. You can go underneath it. Very delicately, get your cod up, squeeze it very gently. That goes into the bowl. The broccoli just goes to the side, and the sauce just goes on top. Make sure you go to the bottom of the sauce because it's that's obviously where all the pearls of caviar are. That's your Valentines starter, and honestly, it eats as delicate as it really, as delicately as it looks. It is delicious. There's your poached and then baked by your kind selves cod, wild organic cod, Atlantic, and then you've got some beautiful tender stem broccoli with your champagne smoked caviar sauce. So super simple, super delicious, and an incredible start to your Valentine's meal. Guys, see you after that. I'm going to do you a guide to cook the most beautiful, delicious Côte de Boeuf. See you in a bit. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the starter. Me and Mikey have just eaten it, and yeah, I'm so pleased with it. Again, on the texture and the visual aspects of it, it comes to you completely cooked. It's just you baking it and reheating it, but the colour, the translucency in the middle, so pleased with that card. I'm really delighted. I'm just a bit of a shame because you won't get better than that in my restaurant. That's how good it is. Anyway, I don't know if I'm picking up there. So listen, without further ado, let's go on to the main course. And we have literally, well, listen, we've pulled out all the stops for this. This is a small one. This is for the main man, Charlie Cook, who is part owner of Alter Rose, and is catered for us, or me personally, for the whole entirety of Dine, but also at my time at Adams. And he's just an absolute legend of a guy. And listen, his butchers have butchered 145 of these for us, which got all delivered on Monday. So we've aged them in the fridge for 2 to 3 days, but I mean, they're perfect then. They're even better now. We've also got some beautiful beef fat that we've roasted down, and we've wrapped it in the beef fat. It isn't cooked, it's coming to you raw. Don't be alarmed. I'm going to simply show you exactly how to cook the most perfect steak, the most perfect Côte de Boeuf. Obviously, your pan and your oven is different, but follow how I'm doing it, and you'll 100% cook this to absolute perfection. This has been out for an hour and a half, okay, just at room temperature, literally just on the side here. It's been out for an hour and a half, okay? So that is literally room temperature. So inside, the main priority of this is to ensure that the centre of that beef is not fridge cold, because that will really discourage the cooking. It will really contrast the cooking. You need to ensure that it's all the same temperature throughout. With that, we have got a delicious, beautiful potato and beef short rib. There's a little bit of cheek in there as well, but beef short rib terrine. As you can see, it's got the beautiful layers of beef throughout that. That's completely cooked. A beautiful accompaniment. Also, creamed leeks. We've made a beautiful reduced cream with a little bit of pecorino, some chopped truffle and some truffle oil in there as well. cafe de Paris butter. This is just because steak and cafe de Paris butter to me is just delicious, and that's enough. Just a piece of steak and cafe de Paris butter is enough for me. But that is simply, when it comes out the oven, that's just to rest it in. That's it. That's the only reason why I've done it. It is absolutely delicious. A truffle and beef sauce. This is, I think last week's or the week before was the best sauce I made. Scrap that. This is the best sauce. It is delicious. The moment you pop the lid, the smell is absolutely unbelievable. You'll see this fresh black truffle all on top throughout the sauce. That's for one person. The two people, listen, I've got a full one in there. And finally, onion ketchup. It is all about flavour, these boxes. It's like this one main course is all about flavour. So, super simple to do. Grab your tray, a little bit of greaseproof paper, and then we'll pop our beef terrine, well, potato and beef terrine on there. It's up to you, however, which way you want to do it. What will actually happen with the tray and the thing, if you put that downwards like that, the bottom will caramelise. It's totally up to you. So I'm just going to stand it up, but listen, it's totally up to you. There's no right or wrong way to do that at all. Sauce, listen, you know, straight into a pan, heat that up, super simple. Onion ketchup to be enjoyed at room temperature. If you heat that up, it will go really, really loose, so don't heat it up, just treat it like a tomato ketchup. Room temperature, all straight out of the fridge ideally. Cream leaks, super simple, into the microwave, 30 to 40 to 50 seconds, or on the stove, just bring it back to heat, nice and gently. Cafe de Paris butter, out at room temperature, because then once the beef is done, we will then put it on top. Okay, so come over to me and I'm going to teach you exactly how to cook a Côte de Bœuf. How I'm going to cook this Côte de Bœuf is exactly how I would recommend cooking a steak anyway. So essentially, if you're not very confident cooking a steak, come over here and I'll show you exactly how to cook. As I've said in the instructions, this is with smoked beef fat. There will be a little bit of residue, sort of beef, sort of blood essentially, but that can all just come out anyway. And then just make sure you pull all that fat out. Because what you want to do, you want to make sure your pan is super hot, and you can just start to see. If you can't see it on the camera, trust me. I'll move that there. Trust me, the smoke is starting to collect there. Now, that's been on for about 5 minutes, only at a low heat. But obviously, the pan, the residual heat of the pan is collecting all that. There's a few bits of garlic on there, or a couple of bits of garlic and thyme. That's because I have put on the instructions, if you have it, everyone will now have it. Okay, so everyone's got that. Just massage that fat all in and around, just like that. There is obviously some butcher string as well. We want to keep that in until we completely cook it. We want to keep that so it keeps it all together and doesn't relax too much. We're going to grab a little bit of Malton sea salt. And this, I'm heavy on this, but this is personal. You don't need to put as much on if you don't want to. I just know there's a lot going to be coming off it in the pan. Nice bit of black pepper. All on around. Same on the other side. More black pepper. Salt. Dab it all on. Go all around. Make sure it's all there. Then we're going to start. So we're going to start with this fat bit here. This is minimal compared to some of the ones we've done. But we just want to let that right out. If your bone, this is quite a short one, as I said, it's one of the smallest ones, because obviously I've plenty for two. If your bone doesn't quite rest it, sometimes it will stay there, but this one is actually leaning. We just want to ensure that we roast all the outside already. You know what I mean? That's why it's so important that your pan is super, super hot. If it doesn't make that crackle and sizzle straight away, get it out. You need to be so, so hot. That's the same with a normal steak. Obviously you wouldn't normally start a steak up on its side, but with this one, obviously we need to. So as you can see, all the fat is beautifully caramelising straight away. I've turned the pan up. It is super hot. But I said on the instructions, crack the windows, get the extraction at full. Whenever it takes, you want to make sure that you don't do this product justice. Turn it all round beautifully. Okay, ready for the sides now. So on the instructions, I'm just going to wash my hands, it's covered in fat, but on the instructions I said to leave it on the side to 1 to 1.5 minutes minimum. You want to ensure that this is a really aggressive heat. You want to make sure that the aggressive heat is really getting into that beef. So it alarms the beef, it's like, right, I'm cooking. So that's what we need to ensure that happens now. So I'm going to leave it on there, wash my hands, I'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay, beautiful. It's just going to go on the same tray as the terrine. Obviously, you'll have two, but I'm going to keep that just here, just for now. Salt that. I put that here just because of the onion, the garlic and the thyme. Okay, so look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Same the other side. What we'll do this time is, again, on the instructions, I've said to take that out and then put butter in there. It's totally up to you. The reason why I've done that is I don't know how big your pans are. You may need to do one at a time at home, or whatever it may be, because obviously there's a couple of you. Or if your pan isn't quite that hot, you may not be able to actually get the butter in there and start to spoon it all on top. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to add the butter to this like, in literally 30 seconds. But if you haven't got the space in your pan, don't worry. Take it out, pop it on the pan, on the tray. Pop your butter with your thyme and your garlic in there, just until it melts. That's it. Just give it a nice stir, just until it melts. Pour it on top. We just want all that flavour in there at all times. And when I say butter, I just mean normal butter. The Café de Paris butter is for after it's cooked, when it comes out the oven in the resting period. Okay. Look at that. This is how hot you need it, guys. Honestly, it might smoke out the kitchen, but listen, it'll be well worth it. Trust me. You're going to get all that colour. All on. And you'll see when you feel it, there's really sort of a bit podgy and a bit sort of lacklustre, because the centre of it is still room temperature. It's nowhere near hot enough, it's nowhere near cooked. That's why it will be that. Okay, so I've seen enough. I'm going to turn that right down. In fact, you can probably turn it off. I'm going to turn it right down. 2, 3, 4 lumps of butter. This is a proper treat. A proper treat. I've never had a coated butter at home. So all you guys this weekend are having something I've never had. So thyme, garlic in, the butter's melted beautifully, knock that off, and just start basting. Start basting all that butter, all that garlic on top. And I said it's exactly what you would do with a steak. The exact same, if it's a ribeye, sirloin, whatever it is at home, fillet, you would do the exact same thing. But obviously you wouldn't do it for as long. You do the exact same thing. Okay, so we've definitely got that steak used to that heat. So, steak, which looks absolutely unbelievable, goes onto your tray. Butter, thyme and garlic, straight on top. Whole tray with your potatoes straight into the oven. Look at that, absolutely phenomenal. So what I've done on the instructions, this is 180, we're going to cook this rare. So we're going to cook this for 10 minutes, okay? 5 minutes aside. Okay, so I'm going to put that on, 5 minutes, you can watch me now. After 5 minutes, I'm simply going to turn it. That's it. Turn it over. Simple as that. Another 5 minutes, pull it out. Join me when I pull that steak out after 10 minutes, and I'll show you what to do after that. See you in a bit. Okay guys, so my 8-minute timer, sorry my 10-minute timer just gone off, so it's 5 and 5. I actually did 5 and 4 because when I felt it, it was super, it was cooking really, really well. So I just reduced the second phase of the cooking, which allowed to turn it to 4 minutes. That's all I've done. So it's actually 9 minutes cooking, which I'll get that feedback. Now I haven't actually checked it as of yet. So when I feel that, it's got a real bounce, like a real sort of intense bounce to it. Again, if I turn it over, exactly the same the other side, so it also springs back straight away, so it's not lethargic like I said before, it's got a real bounce to it. That's exactly what you want. Okay, so this might be sort of medium rare, okay, as opposed to rare, it might be medium rare. So we put that onto a nice little serving board, along with your terrine. That will be absolutely fine somewhere in and around the oven at room temperature. That will be so hot in the middle. If you would like to reheat it after the resting period, that's absolutely fine. Pop it back in the oven because you need your oven on for the fondant anyway. So put it back in the oven for about 1 or 2 minutes. It will regen all that heat. So I'll just put it onto the serving board, which you can see there. I haven't put any butter on top or anything. I'm going to leave that in there. I'm just going to put the beef slap bang in there. But what we are going to do is we are now going to pop this Café de Paris butter on there. Turn it outwards, straight on top. Simple as that, get it all on there. Okay, it's not very pretty at the moment. That's just going to sit there, for I said, for as long as you cooked it for, around about 10 minutes. Just as that beef needs to rest. The centre of that beef needs to rest. That's just going to sit on there and melt. Leave it. Forget about it. I'm going to see you in 10 minutes. In the meantime, when that's resting, about 2 minutes, about 8 minutes into the 10 minutes, or 2 minutes remaining, I'm just going to heat my leeks, heat my sauce. That's at room temperature. So simple. You can start to see it's all starting to melt now. Will come all around all that, right? When you come back, there'll be nothing. There's going to be a beautiful. The integral part of the cafe de Paris butter will all be on top. Right? I'm so my mouth's watering. I'm so excited. See you in about 8 minutes. Okay, guys. So this has been 10 minutes. Okay, so it's literally been 10 minutes. And like I said before, when I got it out, it was really like, as soon as you touched it, it was like really like, sort of like, quite a lot of tension. Now it's just started to relax slightly. On top of that, as you can see, the butter is completely melted, and all the butter's sort of circulating around the beef as well. So you are well in time. This isn't a double. I haven't got one under here. Anyway, this is literally the beef that we cooked. Okay, so if this is nothing but sort of medium rare to medium rare, I apologise. And every bit of the video that you've watched so far, just delete it. Just be like, he doesn't know what he's going on about. This guy is an absolute joker. But then, if it's spot on, then you can believe what I'm saying, and you can take that cooking demonstration in confidence the next time you try beef or steak. So, guys, transfer this onto here. I mean, if I was obviously having this box, I'd do this table side. Really get impressed with your partner, get it table side, show them you can cook. Follow this video, I'm almost certain it'll be spot on. So the Cafe de Paris butter is all on top. So normally I would say, obviously put it upside down and carve sort of downwards on the bone, but don't do that. You want to sort of keep that relatively easing away. Okay, so if your beef looks like that, and you're just taking it off, you're onto an absolute winner. Okay, steaming all the way, fat, beautiful, all completely cooked, nice and medium rare to rare, beautiful. Okay, so then I'm going to carve right down the middle, so you almost cut the end off, and then we're just going to carve, okay? So straight through. You'll get a little bit of gristle because obviously it's the coat de butter, and then it's the middle piece is what we're exactly looking for. Look at all that steam coming off. Okay, right, well, the smell of this is literally unbelievable. So this is enough to feed an army, maybe 2 of you. I mean, I don't know which bit to choose. I mean, it's all just like, I've done you proud. In fact, what I'll do is I'll pop it on here, and you can have a proper look at that beef. Okay, rare to medium rare. Can't really say that's perfect. Absolutely perfect. I'm just going to finish the rest on. All your Cafe de Paris butter is all in between, all inside. There's the bone. That is exactly how I would present it. Just like that. Super simple. All I'm going to do, I'm just going to, because it's Valentine's Day and it's an excuse for absolutely anything, I'm just going to take a little bit of that butter and just put it all on top. There we are, just like that. Season the flesh if you would like to. I'm not going to embarrass myself and start doing a little salt pan. I'm just going to literally put a nice little bit of salt all on top, just like I normally would. And there is your beef. Perfect. I've just heated my cream leeks through. This is a portion of 2. So again, I would personally leave that on the sort of serving tray, and then I'll plate up the remaining of the dish on a plate. So you sort of obviously put that into the centre. If you're going to carve it, obviously table side, put that into the centre. Just do a nice little thin out of your cream leeks, and then your onion ketchup. Again, we'll do a nice little spoon of that just by the side. And don't forget your sauce. Really that. If it does, if it gets a little bit thick, quickly, just let it down with a little bit of water. The the sauce itself is so rich. And I'll just sauce that in the centre, or obviously put it into a jug, and you can serve that table side as well, obviously, if you'd like to. So there we are, guys. That is your Valentine's Day Côte de Boeuf to share with your beautiful beef rib potato terrine, truffle cream leeks, onion ketchup, truffle sauce. I think I have smashed Valentine's Day, guys. I really hope you enjoy it. There we are. Join me after this for your chocolate fondant, which we'll do straight after. But listen, guys, enjoy that, and I'm going to tuck into it right away and see you in a couple of minutes. Okay, guys. So hope you enjoyed the beef. My God, there's enough left for I think tomorrow. So guys, yeah, I hope you really enjoyed that. Obviously, resting is really important, so make sure you rest it. I always say for as long as you cooked it for, because essentially the resting period is still cooking. But listen, I'm super proud of that. So guys, I hope you are as well, and I hope you enjoyed your main course. So on to dessert, the grand finale. Chocolate fondant. This dessert is super simple. Chocolate fondant onto a tray, into the oven, 180 degrees for 9 minutes. That's it. As soon as your 9-minute timer is up, make sure you pull it out, rest it for about 1 to 2 minutes. That just allows the flour just to relax and the glutens just to shut down a little bit, just like bread. You know, when you get bread, you don't eat it straight away. Just allow it to settle just a little bit, and then take it out of the mould. Do not attempt to take it out of the mould before 1 to 2 minutes. Okay. The accompaniment is a delicious white chocolate and amaretto sauce. Personally, because your fondant's hot, this will be room temperature, much better room temperature than hot, in my opinion. But again, you can just pop it in the microwave if you'd like to. And then obviously the salted caramel ice cream is just there. I'll obviously spoon mine on for the dessert, because that will be going to one of you lovely guys. And that's it. So join me in, well, listen, 9 minutes, bring it out for 2 minutes. Super simple. So join me in 11 minutes and we'll do the plate. Okay guys, I just want to interrupt the video. So my timer, the timer on the oven has just gone off. Okay, so 9 minutes. I just want to show you what it should look like before you take it out of the oven. Okay. Okay, so this is exactly how the fondant should look. Okay, so we call it soufflé. So essentially, it should souffle. But if you just press the middle of that, you'll just see it's super soft. Okay, but on the outside, it's a lot firmer. It's exactly what we want to look for. Okay. So on the inside it's a little bit soft, so it might even just plunge in a little bit when it's cooling. So I'm going to keep it out for 2 minutes now, and that's when we decant. What a lot of people do with fondants, they're so worried about the centre being runny, they undercook it. So what happens is the centre is really like gloopy and stone cold, and sometimes I've had fondants before at restaurants that have been rock solid, so it's like set. We don't want a set dough, we want it nice and warm, we want it nice and runny, nice and hot. Okay, so leave that there for 2 minutes. Even if you think your oven's hot or cold or whatever it may be, it has to souffle. So if it souffles a bit earlier than 9 minutes, yeah, take it out. If it souffles, you know, if after 9 minutes it hasn't come up and souffled, it means it isn't cooked. Simple as that. So make sure it souffles and the top looks like a nice baked cake. That's it. So join me in 1 minute. That's when we'll turn that bad boy out, split it, turn it, everything, to give you confidence that fondant's spot on. Right, so see you in a minute. Okay guys, so it's just been over a minute. As I promised, or as I said, it's just sunk a little bit in the middle. Still nice and soft, so that's perfect. So very carefully, you can eat what I prefer to do. I prefer just to sort of tip it out onto your hands, so it comes straight off, and then you'll have confidence then to pop it onto the plate. But again, be careful guys, because the side, it's like a volcano, it's ready to burst. Okay, so be really careful because the sides are super soft. So again, if you want a little spatula, I'm just trying to show you the confidence. Don't be too worried about it, okay? If you can't handle it like that, it's undercooked. I can't express that enough. So what we do is we do a nice little spoon of your ice cream. Obviously you've got a nice little blouche with white. This one I'll just do a nice little spoon, just like that. Okay, perfect. I'll use the same spoon. I'll use the same spoon to do the cut. Turn it round. We'll do the cut. See that? Okay. Cool. So and then what we'll do is I've got the sauce here, which is super cold in this fridge. So this sauce is a little bit thicker than what I would encourage you to use. It's almost like a sort of a single cream. But yeah, I'd probably warm that through if it is that set. But, wow. Enough amaretto in there, mate. Okay, so just like that, right in the centre. As soon as you cut it, you see all that steam coming off. That's exactly what you want. Look at that. And then with your white chocolate, obviously it's going to be a little bit looser than that. Get all that all in and around, and basically finish off Valentine's Day in style, and also in a body bag by this beautiful chocolate fondant, white chocolate amaretto sauce with a beautiful salted caramel ice cream, and to finish it all off, some beautiful Valentine's fudge that, as you can see, it's not our usual colour. It's bright red. We've actually used the white chocolate and some popping candy. The reason being is because our supplier let us down with the strawberry chocolate. It's not coming in the country at the moment, so we've done the next best thing. We've actually used reduced beetroot juice. Doesn't taste anything like beetroot, it's just for the colour, and then some white chocolate and some popping candy. But our usual recipe. So enjoy that with a little bit of salt, sea salt, and with your digestif. And guys, that concludes Valentine's week. I hope you enjoyed it. I really hope you enjoyed the food. Hope you did it all justice. Same time next week, and have a fantastic weekend. Love you all. Thank you for your support. Adios.